Hey MKL, it's Ragin and Mo, the molester. How you doing, Mo?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm tired. I've been going through quite a bit of these team reveal interviews, but I know people are itching to know, and also I'm itching to be done making these videos, interviews. But we're going to be doing the team reveal video for the NFC North, and certainly a storied division. Some of the oldest teams in the NFL are in this division. Certainly, Bears, Lions, Packers, and Vikings. A lot of history, but in the MKL, a lot of history too. I know you and I have both been the Lions, and I think we both won Super Bowl. Oh no, sorry, what am I saying? I wish. But you won a Super Bowl, I think, with the Lions, and I got pretty close. We've been in this division before. I think this is the division I first joined in, and so fun division to break down. I just want to ask you right from the get, of these four teams, which team do you think is the strongest overall roster? Which team do you think is the most desirable of the lot?
It's definitely gonna be the Packers, since they have Aaron Rodgers leading them.
Yeah, most definitely. I completely agree. The Packers have a really strong roster from top to bottom, and Rodgers is certainly, one of the more dominant presence. He's older, but I think they're going to let him play. I think they might have even built in maybe the ability of him to play another 3 or 4 years. I don't know. But I know that at least right now, he's an X-Factor presence at quarterback. You got Aaron Jones, who I care about. Maybe other people care less about. Even A.J. Dillon, if you want to go big and bruising. Wide receiver group is weak, Mo. They lost Adams, and they haven't really replaced him. But the tight end group, I know that tight end, they gave him like the second best hands in the league. I'm not sure if Tanyan is necessarily the most wonderful catcher in the league overall, but he has that stat, which might come in handy this year in tight windows. Offensive line has some really, really nice pieces. Defense is about as sexy as it gets top to bottom. Honestly, Mo, like you got defensive tackle Kenny Clark, you got pass rushers on the outside, Rashawn Gary, and you got a really nice cornerback group led by Jair Alexander, and the safeties look, they've been a sexy safety group for a long time now, with Amos getting up there in age, but still probably great for another 3 or 4 seasons at the least. And then that Darnell Savage, somebody that every Packers user is happy is on the team. So yeah, I think you're right. Packers top team. I've talked for a while. I'm just gonna let you let you kind of introduce. Who do you think is like maybe the second strongest roster in this division?
I'd probably go with the. I'm not that familiar with these teams right now, but
Sure.
Probably the Vikings.
Yeah, no,
Vikings.
I definitely agree with that. So break it down.
Kirk Cousins isn't really that good in Madden, but they do have Kellen Mond, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have one of the best running backs in the game,
Most stuff.
Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and then Irv Smith as their tight end. So that's a pretty good wide receiver and tight end group.
I completely agree.
I'm not too familiar with their offensive line, though.
They actually have a lot of quick, young, historically they've been star depth. Honestly, I don't know much about them, but they could have all taken a doc by now, because I don't think a lot of them have boomed, but some of them certainly have shown that potential to keep growing. So they might have a fully star dev defensive line. I think Darashaw, Cleveland, Bradbury at center. I forget their right guard, but then at right tackle they have O'Neal. They have a pretty good offensive line as far as young pieces that develop. It's actually really desirable, and I know that's one thing Doc liked about what am I saying? No. I just want to say, because Doc is normally how I do stuff, but that's one thing he always liked about the Broncos team, and I think that Broncos team had some of that, and now when I look at this Vikings team, I see that same sort of, that's what I would be interested in, like having that youth, and that they have the devs and stuff like that. So definitely definitely the Vikings team looks really good to me too. How about that defense? I mean, do you like a lot of those pieces there?
They have Harrison Smith, but he's pretty old and slow, so I'm not sure what the user's going to be doing with him.
Yeah.
They have Daniil Hunter, which is a really good edge rusher.
He's great, yeah. They actually just picked up the pass rusher that the Packers used to have on the outside. Zadarius Smith, right. So they have a lot of interesting pieces in Minnesota. And certainly I think that they could improve in a lot of areas, but I think they got a nice young free safety here in the draft too. Maybe Lewis Sign, somebody that people are going to really want, but I imagine the Vikings user will be happy that he's on the team. So really talented squad. I agree with you. I think that's the second most talented squad in this group, and third most I'll maybe introduce. I feel like between the Bears and the Lions, it's an interesting toss-up because they both have pieces here and there. I think people might go Lions. You might even go Lions with 98 speed wide receiver. I'd actually go Bears with a 90 speed quarterback. I feel like that's a really nice piece. I think he'll still maintain his star with Fields. You agree with that?
I'd probably go with the Bears too.
Yeah, and even the Bears in real life, I think like they have the chance to take that next step. You know, when you saw Josh Allen become, wow, that's Josh Allen. You know, before that, you know, we were like, is he Daniel Jones? We don't know. But when you take that next step, you know, it's like Deshaun Watson too. You're like, okay, Deshaun Watson, then you see him become, you know, actually, well, but before all his allegations, but Madden dropped him off a cliff after that as far as his dev. But I imagine Justin Fields has that outside chance to become what all that he can be as a passer or runner, mobility. And with the Bears team, you know, they have a strong running back in Montgomery. They have younger wide receivers, one Velus Jones from Tennessee, I believe, that somebody that they're going to be interested in developing, especially in Madden, with some really nice speed. Mooney is a wide receiver that probably undersung. He actually had the same stats I learned recently as McLaurin last year. But McLaurin is like an X Factor, you know, boom player, and Mooney's like practically, you know, he's like a mid-level dude, like slightly worse than Ridley, I think, in talent on Madden. So it's or Calvin Ridley, that is. So then at tight end they have Kmet. That's a guy who's up and coming. Maybe could take one of those leaps, like a Gesicki type, maybe that can make a next step to be something at the tight end position. Offensive line, I think they lost my favorite offensive lineman they had, Daniels, to the Steelers. But they still, you know, have some pieces. Certainly it's probably a weaker point on their team. And honestly, the youth on defense, Roquan Smith stands out. But other than that, you got to build up that defense. You know, they're not the Bears defense that went to the Super Bowl here a few years back, and neither the 85 Bears. These aren't them, but they're certainly a team with talent throughout that you can build up. So I'll let you break down this Lions team.
Lions, they got the new wide receiver, Jameson Williams, they just drafted. 98 speed, I think, which is pretty crazy. What other receivers do they have?
They actually just got DJ Shark, and I definitely like him. He was on my Super Bowl team last year, and obviously everybody likes a tall, fast receiver. So I'm sure the Lions user is going to be happy to maybe try to develop him if they don't move him in some sort of a deal. Yeah.
They also have T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good offensive line too.
They do. Underrated offensive line. They just invested in with Sewell. They got Ragnow there. I think they still got Decker. Yeah, they have some nice young pieces. I agree. It's an underrated offensive line.
DeAndre Swift is a pretty good running back. I used him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his speed is terrible, but I don't know.
He's an interesting player. I think that there's like always, there seems to be a few Lions fans in the league, and that's a good real life player, kind of like Hunter Renfrow from the Raiders, and he's a player that is good in real life that in Madden some people may go away from, but I know in this game you got to get the ball out quicker. So a good route runner, somebody you can stick in the slot and get separation, might be more valuable than in years past. But how about that defense, Mo?
You know, they just drafted Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to be solid. They got a solid cornerback, Mike Hughes. I think his jump rating is like actually pretty high. And then they have Akuda. He has some potential.
Sure. Yeah, they have that one. They have a couple pieces throughout the team that are guys they drafted hoping they'd hit, and they haven't necessarily hit in real life, but they certainly can develop. I know they got a nice quick pass rusher last year. They already had a player with the same last name, Aquara, and so yeah. So some pieces along the
when I was Lions, he was really good for me.
Right, and he can develop for sure. He can become like a Von Miller type, and that's what you look for. If you can build a rookie type player into a Von Miller, you're doing it right in Madden. So yeah, there we go. NFC North breakdown. We kind of lightly glossed through the teams, and now we're going to reveal who exactly got those teams as we go through the next few 4 interviews, and then Mo and I will be back to break down who we see coming away with this division and what we think our predictions are for it going forward. So enjoy.
All right, what is up, MKL? It is Doc with the Glock here with Raging again. So by now you guys kind of know what's going on. We are in the booth with Nico here. How are you doing, Nico?
Doing great. Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Sunday is definitely one of my favorite days of the week, because certainly it's not Monday yet, and a lot of us are off. Hope you're having a good one. I know that you've been waiting, wondering what team you're going to be getting this year, and I definitely am excited to let you know what team you're getting. But before we reveal the official team you got, give us a guess what team you think you might have gotten.
Seeing the last 2 reveals, I got to say it's either probably going to be the Bears or possibly the Bucs. Maybe the Steelers. I don't remember if I put the Steelers in my top 5.
All right.
One of those 2 teams.
I obviously know you from prior leagues and such, and I saw who you requested, and we've been just trying to consistently make people happy with their choices, with how they rank teams. And we hope you're happy. Most everybody has been decently happy, I'd say so, Doc. So this year, you are going to be taking the reins in the MKL of the Chicago Bears. I hope that makes you happy. I think they were on top of your list, which was something that we circled right away. What's your thoughts?
Hey, I'm greatly appreciated you gave me the Bears.
Yes, sir.
I can do what I can do with Justin Fields. I've looked at the team over a couple times. Obviously, Travis, you're raging. I'm a big fan of middle linebackers. I think pretty much every team I've had, in almost every league, I've had a pretty dominant linebacking core.
You definitely have. Nico, in a prior league of ours, not the MKL, would paint his entire roster with superstars, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. Definitely tough to move the ball against him historically. But this is a new game. And Madden 23, we're all going to have to learn this new game together and see who can kind of come out of the gates hot, maybe do some early winning or build towards something special later. But so on this Bears team, when you look at them, what are you most excited about on this roster?
I think there's a sleeper, at least. I know he's the one on the older side, but the wide receiver they drafted, Ventus Jr., I might have said his name wrong, but he does have 94 speed. He is 24, so he's a little bit on the upper age. Defensively wise, you still got Roquan Smith, and obviously the biggest take is I got Justin Fields.
Yes.
That is the biggest plus on a rookie deal.
People are definitely excited about these young quarterbacks being able to develop them, and Justin Fields has pretty much all the tools you get excited about, especially seeing that threshold of speed go above 90, or at least at 90, is pretty exciting too. Just seeing the possibilities of play calling with somebody with that type of ability to kind of change direction and take off if the play breaks down, something other quarterbacks won't be able to do. So yeah, definitely some exciting pieces on this Bears team as it builds upward. I know that they have a young wide receiver that actually matched Terry McLaurin with receiving stats this last year, and Terry McLaurin is a X Factor dreamboat. And then this wide receiver on the Bears, you might know who I'm talking about. He's kind of smallish.
Darnell Mooney.
Yes,
Darnell
Mooney. It's Darnell
Mooney.
Mooney.
Too.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney is somebody that I'm excited to see if you can give him a fair shake, because it seems like Madden developers had no idea he had a pretty good year last year.
He actually did. I actually watched a lot of the Bears games. Now he's winning, but he was still good. I did like seeing him.
Right.
Hoping he got a little bit more love, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of tell the league, like, what's your favorite team in the NFL?
The Bears. I am from Chicago.
That's right.
Always
That's
been
right.
a Bears fan.
Yeah, we could share that love of Chicago teams. I pretty much only took the Bulls with me when I left Chicago, as far as the teams that I still primarily root for as my number one team. But I'm always happy if the Bears have success. So, Doc, you got any questions for the man? All right, Doc.
Off-season, the Bears. What's up?
You just weren't talking at first. So.
Oh no! So with this Bears roster, their new GM is kind of resetting things, getting rid of big pieces like Khalil Mack, Allen Robinson. Are you going to follow that same approach, or are you here to compete year one?
I got to see how the rest of the roster plays out, and then once the league starts rolling, see where everybody's at. But I probably will keep up with what the GM is doing actually in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I hated to lose Khalil Mack, but looking at where we're at, we need a couple more pieces so we can fully compete on a year-by-year basis.
Sure. And definitely, this is a historically competitive league. Like I said, it's a new game, and the Bears start with a lot of pieces that can really develop nicely, I feel, across the roster. Do you have any players in particular you think you definitely want to be putting on the trade block, or any players who are definitely off limits? It sounds like Justin Fields is a Bear for life.
Yeah, definitely Bear for life. Justin Fields. Probably the early ones on the block. There are probably just going to be some bets. Robert Quinn for one, Eddie Jackson. Besides that, I really can't. I might keep David Montgomery. But like I said, none of those three players are eye-popping.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it sounds like Roquan Smith is definitely up your alley for what you were saying, even leading in with your linebacker love. He's about as good as it gets at the middle linebacker position. He might have even been shafted by not being a superstar, but I think he's somebody that we could likely see as a superstar in Madden by the end of the year. And so when you look at this division, the NFC North, you obviously have an aging Rodgers with the Packers, but they're a very talented squad. You got the Vikings with a lot of up-and-coming talent, maybe need a more stable quarterback room. And then you're looking at the Lions, who are sort of been a historical disaster, but for Madden's sake, there's a couple exciting new talents that have joined the Lions. Where do you feel like your early place in this league is going to be in the NFC North? Do you feel like you're looking to try to make the playoffs right away? Do you feel like you're trying to build for something long term, or do you want to shock the league and guarantee a Super Bowl in year one? What are you feeling right now with this Bears team and your expectations?
I think year one off the bat, we're going to be competitive. And just in the NFC North alone, I think we could probably more than likely either finish second, possibly third. But I think out of all the teams in the NFC North, I think the Bears have the most upside. Like you said, the quarterback situation for the other three teams, they all got aging vets. The Bears are the only one with a young quarterback. So I think year one, we're going to compete. If we can slip into the wild card 7, it'd be great. If not, year 2, definitely be on the lookout. Year 2.
I love it. I like the realistic approaches. Obviously, we love it when people just say something maybe foolish, and but I respect the realistic approaches. Just knowing, hey, let's see what happens, build this roster up. But certainly, one thing we really like is giving people's favorite favorite teams to them, you know, who are their favorite teams in real life to them in this league. I feel like that adds to the fun for people in this league, and it's something we've been trying to do. So for me, it's really exciting. Obviously, you know, we're friends, you know, we've been in leagues together, and I'm happy that you're happy with the team that you've been given. That's important as we go through the process. Hey Doc, you got any more questions for the man? I do want to make a shout out. He said Eddie Jackson's available. That could fetch something really nice package for you.
Yeah, are you more looking for picks or some young players to develop, or who are already kind of developed? What's your goal? Trades.
If I'm training Jackson, you know, I'd probably try to get if I can, a younger player to develop. And if not, I'll definitely would take draft picks. I'm generally like to keep most of my draft picks in the beginning, and then as the years go on, if I'm missing a couple pieces, then I'll be willing to trade most of my draft picks. But Eddie Jackson, either for a young, good player, doesn't have to be spectacular, or definitely draft picks. Definitely draft picks.
Yeah, I think Nico can be really successful in this league. Obviously, he's going to have to build up this team probably to compete with some of these teams that start off like the Chargers, just completely loaded. You know, the Bears are not that, but they are exciting and they have pieces people really wanted, and I'm excited that you got to have them. You know, classically, Nico is one of those really active users. He'll know the rules inside and out. He'll know, you know, ways that he can, you know, improve his team as best he can, you know, under the, you know, the parameters that are set. So I'm excited to see what you do, man, and happy to have you here in the MKL. Stay a while, and look forward to you doing big things with the Bears team. It'd be fun to see the Bears on top. Like I said, the Chicago guy, I hope you do great things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, this has been Doc and Ragin, team reveal for new head coach of the Chicago Bears, Nico. Thanks so much for joining us, and yeah, this interview's done. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey there, MKL. It's Ragin and Cookie, and say what's up, Cookie.
What's up, everybody?
All right, so we're gonna be here doing a team reveal for Doc, and Doc, you happen to already know what team you have. You want to reveal that to the league right now?
Sure, I'd love to, but I'd just like to say I am honored to be interviewed by two MKL Hall of Famers that really warms my heart.
Ooh.
But
sure, dude, hearing that's got me bricked up.
Dude, that me too, man.
Just think about
so
you being
bricked up I could build a house.
All right, Doc.
But the team I will be is the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings belong to Doc with the Glock. Now currently in Discord, Doc with the cock. Doc, what? What excites you about this team? You know, what is the reason, you know, that you're like, yeah, you know, like the Vikings are a team that I am happy to roll with, and that you didn't just decide to run out of the league right away when you found out this was your team?
You know, this was my top choice, and I was very surprised no one else even mentioned the Vikings in their top five. But two things really stood out to me as this team is they have drip. Their unis are fire. I can't stand a 5-season potential like Madden 23 era of not having good jerseys. So, you know, the color rush is there. The all whites are there with a little bit of yellow. That's sexy. And the next thing is I'm very anti-speed, and they have a lot of speed for me to trade around to members of the league.
All right, so this is a fascinating truth about you, Doc. Like, you know, all of us speed sluts in the league, you know, we have a player that we look at and we're like, how do we get rid of this guy? And you look at that player and you say, how do I get that guy? And then your mentality is you look at a player that we all want and say, hey, I can get rid of this guy to get the guy that they don't want. It's a beautiful thing for a lot of us, but then on your end, you like to win unconventionally, right?
Absolutely. You know, a little bit of history is our trades have definitely worked out for both of us because of that reason. But yeah, I'm a very off-meta person. So someone like Cameron Dantzler, who I traded for in 22, will be staying on my team compared to someone like Perry Nickerson, who has 94, he will be released effective immediately as soon as I become GM of this team.
Okay, so Perry Nickerson's going to be entering free agency. You're not even going to put him on the block?
Oh, no, he's going on the blog, but I'm going to do his mom's first, and then I'm going to hit him up and be like, you're gone. You're not playing it down in Doc's era of football. And, I'm comfortable saying that with also Dan Chisena is going to be gone. Dalvin Cook is on the block if he's not on the untouchables list. Kene Nwangu is gone. The other running back, Cox, is gone. He's off the team. The only person with speed that's staying on the team is Lewis Seen and who's there? Roger McCreary? Yeah, those two.
Okay, right on. Cookie, you got any questions?
No.
I also would like to point out, if my Falcons team was the team I had, like the team that I traded for end of year for 22 and had them starting out for 23, we'd win a Super Bowl. 4 tight ends, a power back, 2 slow receivers who can block. I feel like that would be the meta for 23.
I mean, I love it. I love your vision. I honestly root for it. If I can see a guy go out there with a bunch of tall, plodding players and get it done, beat one of the fastest teams in the league, for a championship, I would celebrate that personally, because we see, you see the Golden State Warriors on television, right? You see this 3-point happy, game, and then some of us old dudes, we look at that and we're like, oh man, we remember when the game was, built inside, and they were really, bullying around in the post, and it was, rebounding was a way, way more aggressive, and defense was way more physical, and now they're just like bouncing side to side and chucking threes up at an insane rate, and to see people win in a different way is definitely something I'm more so about. I know with the Bulls recently, they had DeMar DeRozan, and everybody said, oh, he's a mid-range player, and then he ended up being like, one of the MVP runner-ups because he was just so dominant in that unconventional way that a lot of people felt like, well, we're not going to use that as much in this 3-point age. But it sounds like you're going for maybe height, for maybe some classically slower players who can do the unconventional things at their position.
Yeah, so I already have a couple players on mine. So thankfully, for being able to play the beta, I already figured out my offensive and defensive scheme. So one thing that I'm going to be looking for is a wide receiver who has the capabilities to be successful in the backfield, because there's a formation in the playbook that I'm going to be using that don't even have to do anything. My number one receiver is going to be in the backfield. So looking for someone like Laviska Shenault or Deebo Samuel will definitely be on my mind. And if I have to trade speed to get it, I'll definitely do that. And then on the defensive end, studied many hours on how match coverage works and had quite a bit of success with it with the Browns. So I definitely plan on running a lot of match to try and be successful this year.
Right on. Cookie, any questions?
No.
Phenomenal. I mean, so when I look at your team, there's players that stand out, like Danielle Hunter or Danielle Hunter. Sorry, I mean it's spelled Danielle. Whatever you want to do there. But then you look at your quarterback position. What's your plan at quarterback? Are you rolling with Cousins? Are you thinking you want to try to get somebody different, unconventional there as well?
It's really how I'm feeling, because one day Kirk Cousins shows up, and then next day it's Kirk's Cousins, and I really don't like him as a person or as a quarterback as my team, and seeing those disgusting long jerseys sleeves that he has really irritates me. But going into the season, I think the worst spot for a team is to have all these players but not have the quarterback, so you're out of quarterback contention come the draft. And I'm not sure what we're doing with the draft, if we're importing like an IRL class which is going to be very heavy with quarterbacks, or just any draft class. I'm not looking to win the Super Bowl year one, just based off of quarterback play. I have separate goals in mind, but Kirk Cousins, depending if he's good, because again, he's good enough to help me dev players who I want to develop, but he's not good enough to help me win.
Sure. All right. Well, what are you looking at as far as, you said you're not ready to compete necessarily in year one, probably for a championship. Do you feel like maybe in year 2, year 3, you can maybe take this division? I mean, obviously, you may have insider knowledge of who's in your division, but we don't need to necessarily go into that yet. But do you feel like you can be a division winner? Do you feel like you can be a yearly playoff contender?
I think I can be a playoff contender if I want to be, because every season I made the playoffs besides my first one, which was the year 1 Falcons. I believe so. I definitely can compete, but then do I compete just to lose in the playoffs and not have a good draft pick? Because I do have a goal and vision in mind that by year 3 is going to be my chance, because year 1, develop whoever's around Kirk Cousins. Even it might be Kellen Mond too, because I know he's on the team. Year 2, based on QB play, draft a QB, and by year 3, have my QB who I draft develop enough to kind of win us the season.
Right on. Well, awesome. I'll go back to the well. Cookie, you got any questions?
Yeah, Doc, what are you gonna do to not suck?
That's very hard to do, because I do love to suck. But there's an anti-tanking rule in place, so
I think it got deleted.
So maybe I do want to suck, and maybe there's nothing to do with that.
If you do want to suck, there's this kid in the league. His name is Mo Lester. Hit him up.
Yeah, so the reason that a couple admins, spoiler alert, are in the NFC is because we gave someone like Mo and Stinky the AFC, where there's better teams, potentially. Because it was agreed upon that me and certain other admins should go to the NFC, so they would avoid us and not have to play us.
No, I mean, what's that?
Mo's probably a bottom 5 player,
You feel like Mo's in the bottom 5 of the league?
Yeah, bottom 5 of admins. So he there's 5 of us. He's 5th, including Cookie. But that probably makes him 6th, and Cookie's not.
Cookie's not actually here. Yeah, no, I definitely, I mean, it's an important question. How are you not going to suck? And I think you addressed that creatively.
Basically, what are you going to do differently than what you've done in the past? Because you suck.
How do I suck? Please elaborate, Cookie. You heard me break my heart.
So, as everyone knows, everyone that's been here, Doc is a terrible GM. He literally builds the worst teams ever. But you know what? This time, with the Vikings, I want to know how is this going to be different? How are we going to see a new Doc in Madden 23?
You're not, because I feel the teams I create are great. My Browns team was excellent. My Falcons team needed another year, but we shut down.
All right, this guy's delusional. Get him out of the booth.
Well, you know what? I actually lost to Doc, so I
watched that game on stream.
Yeah, I played the game. I saw it firsthand. I saw it humming. Working on all cylinders. I felt like what I like to do wasn't there a lot of the time. Maybe it was these unconventional players, excelling in these situations that I just didn't think they could.
Also, last question from me for Doc. How do you feel about Shakira possibly facing up to 8 years in prison for alleged tax fraud in Spain?
Honestly, if she needs a United States citizenship, she can come talk to me and avoid those charges.
And if she does get locked up, do you think that she makes her way back to the United States faster than Brittany Griner? Yes or no?
Yeah, because she's probably a 90 overall superstar, while Brittany Griner's like 69 bronze.
Okay. That's all I need to hear. I'm reading an article about it right now.
All right, so this has been the eventful team reveal for Doc and his soon-to-be unconventional winners, the Minnesota Vikings. Doc, anything you want to say on the out?
Fuck everyone else in the NFC North.
All right, there you have it. Some shots fired there. This has been Ragin and Cookie here revealing the team with Doc. Thanks so much for joining us.
What is up, everyone? It is Doc with the Glock, back here with my partner in crime, Ragin, and today we are interviewing a long-time household name, Vamsy, who took a year off in 22 but is back now for 23.
Welcome, Vamsy. I'm really excited to get to be in the reveal chat with you today. You're obviously been in the league a long time with me, one of my favorite guys in this league. Do you have any idea what team you might be? Any guesses as to what team you might be?
No, I'm glad to be here too. But in terms of guesses, I guess I was thinking they'd probably give me, I don't know, like a team that's good, but knowing Stinky, he's not going to give me a team that I like. So maybe like the Packers, like that's a good team, but as a Lions fan, I'm not really that appreciative of them, but they're a pretty good team. Or like, I was thinking the Jags, but the Jags got taken. I was thinking maybe the Panthers, but I feel like that's a little wishful thinking.
Sure. Well, definitely we want people to be happy. This is an interesting season as far as giving people their favorite teams. It's something that we've been trying to do, but certainly we also wanted to give people good teams if they, teams that maybe they can excel with. So it's kind of a happy mix of that. So this year, Vamsy, you are going to be the head coach. Take it as you will. Do your stuff with them. Make them your own. You're going to be the head coach of. Mentioning this team, this is it's a great team in my opinion to start out with. I think there's a lot of talent on this. So Vamsy, you're going to be the team of. Do you want to hear what team you're going to be the coach of? Or?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We should probably spit it out. So you're going to be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
I had a feeling.
Which is
like it'd be the Packers.
Which is funny because you just brought them up as a team you definitely did not want to be.
Well, it's not that I don't want to be them. Like I know objectively they're one of the best teams in Madden, like one of the youngest defenses, one of the fastest teams. I like in all Madden sets, like they make sense. I like them. It's just obviously being like a staunch anti-Aaron Rodgers guy. I'll try my best to get rid of him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you'll have.
Go ahead, Richard.
No, I think you'll have some definite pieces that you can move on this team, and Aaron Rodgers is no exception as far as just this talented quarterback people are going to want, and obviously they can maybe succeed with right away. You go ahead, Doc.
So as a Lions fan myself, I know personally if I was the Packers, first I hate the Packers and then next is the Bears. If I was the Packers and in your situation, I'd definitely be looking to trade as many Packers players as I could.
Exactly,
Do you have that mentality?
Yeah, I'm going into it like this is a shambolic franchise. I'm going to do my best to get rid of every piece of Packers legacy that's there. So I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. I'll probably get rid of him. I know in Madden he's going to be very good, but I'll try to get rid of him. Maybe Jordan Love too. But I'd be like remiss if I was saying that this isn't a very good team. Like it has a great offensive line, 2 great running backs, like probably the ideal defense in my opinion, probably the best defense in Madden. And they do have a couple people from my alma mater like Rashawn Gary. So I'm obviously not going to trade all those guys.
Sure.
And to be honest, like I've used the Packers before, like even though I wouldn't want to mention it, but I do know that they're a good Madden team, and I think I'll be happy with getting to play against them.
Yeah.
Could we potentially see future trades with the division rival, the Lions?
I personally don't like to lose trades, but I feel like I'd be okay with it if it was a Lions player.
Yeah.
Now, that's interesting because I feel like once you see who this Lions player is, you may go back on that statement.
Oh, okay. I'm excited now.
Yeah, no, like you're gonna have obviously this is a competitive league, and certainly your division. I think that you're definitely you're a former champion here in this league. So I'm excited to see how you do. Obviously, I'm always rooting for you unless you play me. So it's I'm definitely happy that you see it clearly. Obviously, to be quite honest, if I was given the Saints, I might not. I might not be here. If I was given the Bucks, I probably would not be here. And if I was given the Panthers, I might try to make it work. They're probably the team I feel the least animosity with. But yeah, I mean, hats off to you for saying, "Hey, I hate this team in real life, but they have a lot of talent, and you can roll with them."
It's not like they're giving me like the Giants. Like I
shots fired.
Very good team.
If Macario's listening, shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, he knows. At least with the Lions, we have some hope right now. Like the Giants are just completely in the mud. I don't know how he's still a Giants.
With the Bears, I think Bears is even worse than the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see that. Like Fields has absolutely no one to throw to, no one to block.
Yeah, biggest bust potentially of his draft class.
For sure. Name one good Ohio State quarterback ever.
See, I say the same thing, but league members get on me like, you can't just say that.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah, exactly. Unless C.J. Stroud comes to the Lions next year, then he'll be the first.
And I'm the exact same mentality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see the Falcons also taking one of those young quarterbacks at the top. That'd be interesting. Something we might see in this league. We haven't made a final decision on draft class, but certainly there. Are you looking to draft a quarterback? Are you looking to try to acquire a quarterback because you want to get rid of these Packers quarterbacks, kind of maybe right off the top?
Well, the only player that I really have like a lot of animosity towards is Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Like the repetitive, like all the Hail Marys, all the division losses. Like Aaron Rodgers will probably not be on this team, but Jordan Love is just old and pretty bad. So I don't like. I'd use him if I could. He's just not a very good quarterback. So yeah, I'll probably be in the quarterback market at some point. Maybe I'll play a year with Rodgers. We'll see.
I think it's very kind that I believe they left him with Starr maybe another year.
They gave him Starr. Nice.
I think they did, and he's just not shown anything yet. So definitely two pieces that might perk some ears up. I imagine Aaron Rodgers, some people who maybe are a quarterback away, maybe if you look at some of these Washington Redskins, some teams like that might be interested.
Some team like the Steelers, who has,
nothing much at quarterback, right?
But they've got a solid team around, This offense needs to be completely revamped too, especially without Adams anymore.
For sure.
Especially considering the way that you and me play, Ragin. Like we don't really need a very good running back off rip. So Aaron Jones will probably be a player that I'm looking to deal out. Yeah. I definitely need some more wide receivers. Hopefully they didn't screw Christian Watson over too hard. Because in real life, I just know he's going to be a bust. He's a Packers receiver, but hopefully he's at least Starr with some decent speed. I know he's very athletic, so we'll try to make it work.
He had a lot of buzz. I think he's the type of player Madden would give a star to. I know, what the Jaguars give a star to, like that offensive lineman Barch. And that's just because of combine buzz. And I know that Christian Watson had combine buzz.
Yeah, he did. Well, obviously, I'd prefer if he was a little faster, but I'll take it. I think all of his athleticism is like everything else. He's like strong, jumps high.
So it sounds like you're going to be selling some of these players. Are there any that you want to just let the league know right off the top? Safeties, corners, offensive line, quarterback, wide receivers.
I know you're looking for those.
Hey, I
personally, those are the positions where I'm pretty happy with this team.
I imagine so.
Kevin Savage, Eric Stokes, Alexander, the offensive line too, fantastic. Those are probably places where I don't really need to adjust much.
Yes.
But if you're interested in Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Jones or I don't know, like any other like aging stars would probably have Zadarius Smith up on the block.
Yeah.
So Zadarius is now on.
Oh, not
Vikings.
Zadarius. Yeah, I forgot.
Preston Smith, I think.
Preston Smith, yeah.
The worst of the two, probably, but
yeah, he's probably not going to have much value anymore. He's older. I don't even know if he's star, but they probably
think he's still
very
super. Right? Yeah, I think him and Kenny Clark are both superstars.
Oh, nice. But I'm not trading Gary. Gary's a Michigan man.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you. You know, with your history of being in the league, you know, some of these members, is there anyone specifically you want in your division or don't want in your division?
Well, for all of 21, I was in a division with Stinky, and I think like after completely dogging him through all of 20, he kind of took that out on me in 21. So
yeah.
I would, if I'm gonna play him, I'd rather have him be in the other conference and play him in the Super Bowl. So I probably don't want to be with him again.
Mm-hmm.
Although if I was with him, I wouldn't really mind. It's just the same thing. I'll just beat up on him like I used to. who I would want? I don't know. I'm fine with anyone, honestly. We'll make it work. We'll see. Yeah. I just don't want anyone too bad on the Lions. I want a good user on the Lions.
Hey, well,
I think there's quite the excellent person on the Lions.
Yeah, you might be happy with that then. I believe the Lions will have a competent coach this year, but we'll reveal that on the video's final drop. But do you have any predictions or any feel for, do you want to compete right away with this team? Obviously, it's a very talented team. Do you feel like you can be a playoff, user, consistently? Maybe you want to call your shots. Say you think you can contend with a Super Bowl right away. Like what's your overall feel as far as your self-expectation for this team?
Honestly, I mean, I think if I stuck with it and just played with the roster the way it is, used Aaron Rodgers, I think this is definitely like a Super Bowl contending team. Yeah. And I think like I'd probably, not to toot my own horn, I think I could be pretty competitive if I really wanted to this year. But again, if I trade Aaron Rodgers especially, I'm not sure what direction I'm going to go with. So maybe if there's a nice quarterback in the draft class, regardless whether if we use the real class or auto-generated class, if there's a good quarterback, maybe I'll trade Rodgers and take it easy for a year, but we'll see. It all depends on what my team looks like come week 1.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy that you see maybe the humor in taking a team that you kind of hate, but they're talented. And I'm excited to see what you do. Certainly, when you told me about your last Super Bowl, I was pumped. I didn't get to witness it. I wasn't around for it. And when I told you about mine, similarly, you weren't here either. So maybe we can witness you win the Super Bowl while I'm in the league, and that'd be pretty sweet. Unless it's against me, certainly. Maybe don't beat me if we're against each other. But anyways, definitely happy that we get to give you a stacked team. Obviously, the pieces that are pretty sexy on that team, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do. So awesome, man. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say to the league?
Not really. I look forward to getting to know all the new people, all that came in during 22 that I didn't get to meet, and hopefully I don't get beat up on too pretty badly.
Sure thing. Well, this has been Ragin and Doc interviewing Vamsey, the new head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yep, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course.
In the MKL, far, far away, there was 2 users, Cookie and Ragin. And we're here today to bring you a MKL team reveal video. We got Steady in the booth with us. That's Steady Uwu, former MKL champion, not once but twice. He is also Stinky's father. Spoiler alert. We got Doc in the booth. Sorry, Doc. Steady's an admin. He knows his team. Steady, tell everybody how happy you are to be the Packers again.
Yeah, guys, I'm really excited to be the Pack now. Unfortunately, I am going to be coaching the Detroit Lions.
Whoa! That's going to be a shocker. That's going to be a shocker to a lot of people. I'm not shocked, but I pretended to be shocked. But my shock has since expired because I've known this for a few days, maybe even a week now. But the Detroit Lions, what you know, like obviously you were winning Super Bowls with the Packers. You didn't want to trade a single Packer, not even a backup guard, because you saw their beautiful potential and you felt this closeness to these Packers. You felt like the sentimentalness. Now you're the Lions. Like, what's going to change? Do you think you can still win championships with this Lions roster? Like, what's your thinking?
All right, Rage. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it wasn't my attachment to the Packers, really. I mean, I traded away Rashawn Gary for Tyreek Hill. You know, would I really do that if I was like a huge Packers, like keep all the guys? No. I don't trade because I hate people. I hate everybody. And I hate trading. It's just like, it's such an inconvenience. So I just like stick with whoever I have. So it's actually going to be pretty awful to try and like make this team any good season 1, because I just don't, you know, I don't care, right? I don't want to talk to people and be like, give me this player and take these players that I don't want, because chances are they won't want them either. So I just don't like trading. It's annoying. But eventually I hope we win. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. Truth be told, I haven't looked at the roster. But at the end of the day, you know, we have Jameson Williams, who's basically the only player I know. And then there was some like free agent we signed that was fast and he's tall. And really, what more do you need? You know, you throw Trace McSorley at quarterback and we win games, you know, because we have fast receivers. All that matters. Right. So I'm hoping we'll win. Maybe not as much success as I would have seen season 1 with like the Packers, because
they're a greater team. They're a greater team to start with.
Right. And like, you know, I don't got to trade to, you know, build them up, because but now I have to trade if I want the team to be good, and I'm just like not going to, because I hate it.
Your nonchalantness, it almost seems inauthentic how nonchalant you are. It's like having that guy in your fantasy league that doesn't care at all. He doesn't plan to do any mock drafts. He shows up for the draft late. You know, he gets auto drafted a couple running backs. He ends up winning your league, and you're just like, oh my gosh! I read article after article, did about 100 mock drafts. That's who you feel like to me, because you're like, I haven't even looked at my team. Heck, I looked at my team. I looked at almost every single team within like a week, because that's my nerdy curiosity, just to see who's in there, what are they like, you know, see what the teams look like. And you haven't even looked at this Lions roster yet, and yet you said, yeah, I'll be that team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's also, you know, one of the reasons I took the Lions, right? I mean, obviously people don't want to see me be the Packers again, but a lot of MKL legends have taken this Lions team and won Super Bowls with them, right? In fact, I think the Lions are one of the most winningest teams here in the Madden Kingdom League. So, you know, I thought it'd be cool to carry that torch, and really that and Jameson Williams is basically all that I'm thinking about, because I already know, like, I don't even need to look at the team to know that this team sucks. Big, massive, huge, throbbing, veiny balls. So, yes, that too.
Well, yeah, there's some redeeming qualities. I know you're not a big runner, but you do run. People don't think that you run, but I've watched your games, and you're quite willing to run, let time expire. Like, Aaron Jones was an effective running back for you. Now you get Mr. Swift, and you have this wide receiver core. Has a wide receiver that I really adore with DJ Shark, who I won my Super Bowl with, and you obviously have Jameson Williams. You have the Hawkinson kid. You have an offensive line with Sewell and some up-and-coming names. Ragnow, already one of the best offensive linemen in defense. You certainly have a lot of lacking pieces, but they just drafted one of the top defensive players in the draft in Aiden Hutchinson, and you know there's some pieces to get excited about. Certainly, it's a project team, but for a player like you, a lot of us feel like, well, heck, I don't know how much this team is going to hold you back. You said you don't think you're going to compete right away, for necessarily contend. I don't know if that's necessarily true. It might just be you doubting, because you're such you played with the Packers, pretty much exclusively. It felt like, in this league, obviously, but maybe in others as well. So are you kind of curious to see how you'll do, or do you have a pretty good idea that maybe you'll do well in this division right from the start and contend?
Truth be told, I'd have to look at who's in the division, but, don't have a quarterback, so I can't even use the speed that we were given, and, I'm not gonna, I don't know. Who am I gonna dev, right? I don't know who I'm gonna trade for. We don't know who's gonna be good. And, Brian, I hate trading, like we talked about. So, I don't really know who's going to be leading the team, but chances are it's going to be somebody that's a huge meme, like James Morgan, Trace McSorley, Kurt Benkert, Ben DiNucci. Somebody stupid is probably going to end up leading this team because it's funny, and that's not going to win games at all. So, really not expecting too much, but at the same time, I really do feel like this is going to be a running year. But we also don't really have like an amazing, any good running back that's fast. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I feel like we'll probably just, be middling, to be honest, unless hardcore tank. But, it'll be interesting to see, I suppose. There is somebody in the division that I do think with them and their team, they'll probably, be a little more successful than I. So hopes not entirely too high, as you might expect.
Sure. Well, I mean, I definitely know your division. You could easily know your division, but like I said, you're kind of that fantasy player that just sort of doesn't pay attention early, and you're just like, yeah, I'll see it when I see it. The planning factor, you're like, I don't know how good they're going to be. You could easily log in and look and see what a lot of these players have right now. But what I see from you is, that you're good at this last game. This is going to be a new game, and the new game has talked largely about, like you said, running, and you're feeling like to be dominant, you have to do something you weren't doing quite as heavily in the last game. Do you feel like this Lions team, Swift, you kind of shat on him a few seconds ago, but it's like Swift is a 90 speed, 80 something overall star running back. He's one dev away from being a 92 speed superstar running back, which is better than Aaron Jones was last year. It's just from the start. It's you're not too far from certain pieces. Hawkinson's certainly a big one. That they can develop. And like I said, I'm in love with Chark. If you want to scoot him to me, that would be perfectly fine with me. And I feel like there are things that are really developable on this team. But I'm excited. I love seeing, some of the better users, obviously the multiple time Super Bowl winners, take these teams that a lot of us look on and say, hey, maybe we have a chance, because some of us probably playing you last year, we'd look at your Packers team, we'd look at maybe, let's say our Jets team, and we think this game might not go so well for me.
Yeah, in regards to running the ball, right? I feel like last year, you were talking about my success with Aaron Jones, a few questions prior. I feel like a lot of the success was oh man, dude, the Packers are winning by, 70 million points at the end of the first quarter, so now I run the ball for 3 quarters, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if I was necessarily that great of a runner and, huge runner like you were talking about, I've seen Steady's games, I've seen him run the ball. But, Madden 20 Steady, he went nuts, dude, run the ball every play. So, if that's what needs to happen, then I will do it, and, with Swift, because that's probably my only option. So yeah, that's a thing. And regarding the teams, I'll look eventually. It's not like I'm never gonna look, right? I probably shouldn't say who's in the division because I don't know when in this video I'm gonna be at, but I have a rough idea. There's just a few teams I don't remember. So yeah.
Well, in this video, I'll just let you know right now, you're sharing a division with Doc. And he's gonna be taking the reins of the Vikings. And one thing Doc has kind of slid on the table to me, a little favor. He was wondering if maybe you wanted to suck on purpose and try to get the first overall pick with him. Just blow your first year and go all in on the draft. Does that sound appealing to you?
I like drafting, but this last Madden kind of had this drafting system that nobody liked. It was kind of difficult to do, so I'm not sure. I've done it before, right? Tank Master, even with the Lions actually in previous leagues I've tanked, but it's kind of boring to get on and be like, man, I get to lose and get to hear talk about how I lost, even though I did it on purpose. So I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I heard from the grapevine that we have some first round picks from somebody. So hopefully they suck and they can do the tanking for me. That'd be nice.
There you go.
Those first round picks come from the Rams for the Matt Stafford trade.
Yeah. So, screw you, Rams. I hope you suck. What was the question about Doc? He's in the division.
Doc just had an outside request, hoping that maybe you'd agree to throw your first season, maybe in hopes that he could hold you down for a little bit in the division, or that you guys could find an alternative way of having fun. Maybe it's a blessing to the rest of us. Try to get you to suck for a year. I think it was just something he wanted me to ask you. It doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen.
You know, it's funny because I pissed somebody off in the Madden Kingdom League last year in our reboot when I had Jordan Love, because I didn't need to win the game and then I beat them anyway. And they were like, screw you, you ruined my playoffs. I was like, I don't know, dude, I'm just gaming. You know what I'm just saying? I'm just playing some video games, bro.
Sure. Who was that?
I forget who that was. I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it was KJ.
Really?
I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
it wasn't KJ. No, me and KJ got into it because he, he was like throwing the ball to somebody who was like kind of open, and then it got picked off, and then I was like, damn, bro, that like wasn't open at all. But I was like being sarcastic, and then he took it very personally, and then it kind of turned into this whole beef. But it's just it only happened, right, for context, because that guy who's the receiver, like slant dude, I forget his name. He fell off. Yeah,
Michael Thomas.
Dude's like 80 speed. So yeah, he kind of like, he looks open and then you throw it and he's like, well, I'm 20 speed slower, so I suck. So yeah, and then it caused this whole beef. But it was not KJ. I forget who it was. I think it was Derek. It was Derek. That's who it was. Rest in power.
Yeah.
He was the old Vikings. So you mentioned it, right? Because that's like Doc. You were talking about Doc.
For a minute.
Anyway.
Until he got mad or something and decided to peace.
Yeah, right. So.
Well, do you see anybody on this team that you definitely want to let the league know is available as you start building them up, or?
Well, like you said, or like I said earlier, I don't really know who any of these people are.
True.
So I couldn't really tell you. I know who I don't want to trade. Like, I know who our good players are.
Good.
Like Jameson Williams. So please don't talk to me about that guy.
Yeah, you'll get like 20 messages about him.
I don't think so. I mean, you can come get Jared Goff, the goofball, huh?
Yeah.
Or Swift. I'll trade Swift.
There you go.
I would do that.
Hey,
but nobody wants those people because we're the Lions and we suck.
Well, actually, reports are just coming in. Doc with the Glock is actually salivating as he's hearing those names. Vampsy, another Lions fan. I heard
he's a Lions fan.
Yeah. Vampsy.
Why aren't they the Lions?
Doc.
What the frick?
Well, I actually heard Vampsy is getting ready to hit your line for some of those players. So you might actually have a betting war for some of those players between Doc and Vampsy.
Okay, well, that sounds good to me.
Pretty ironic.
The Lions have surprisingly been one of the most represented teams in the MKL for fan bases. There's a lot of people that have been Lions fans in this league, and it's been fun to see them throw up the hope, throw up the Lions love and see how they feel like their team can shake out. And I guarantee you all of them are in love with Jameson Williams. Sounds like that dream is going to die, but maybe there's other people that you won't necessarily value, but those Lions fans might be hitting you up for, so something to look out for. So, well, we're heading to the 15-minute range. I mean, if Cookie wants to stretch us out, Cookie, you got any other good questions for Steady about this team reveal?
Yeah, actually, just one. Steady, I just need your quick opinion. Would you consider like a block of cheese or like a brick of cheese a loaf of milk? Think about that one. A block of cheese, isn't it just a loaf of milk?
Well, I'm not super well versed in the production of of milk and cheese and whatnot.
Aren't you a cheesehead? Aren't you a
cheesehead?
State
of Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Go Packers.
He's trying to ask an expert.
I'm not a farmer. So I couldn't really tell you, but if it makes you feel good, I mean, it sounds, I'm sure there's some wild explanation, and that's how that joke came to exist. So go ahead and, we can agree that that's what that is. That's fine with me.
Love it. Love it. Any other banger questions, Cookie?
That was actually the only one that I wanted to get on record. So, Steady, thanks for joining us. I want to say I hope you do well with the Lions, but let's be real. You're like the father of the league at this point. You know, everybody else is your son. You know, Super Bowl champion, not once but twice. I said it at the beginning, I'll say it now. He's gonna, come for the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and then, I mean, if the league even lasted that long, because I imagine Stinky's gonna let it die. But
but it's Raging's league now, so we don't gotta worry about it.
It is Raging's
Whoa. Slow that noise. I'm gonna get.
He's talking.
It's Raging's league now, so we hope not. But yeah, we hope you do well and beat Doc twice a season. So yeah, I mean, have fun, man.
There is, I'd like to add something, right? Because of the success that the Lions have seen, I kind of feel like I let them down if I weren't to win with them eventually. So that's something that's on my mind. Like I do have a drive to win with this team because so many other people have.
Do you want to
hey, go built a godly squad? Probably should have went to the Super Bowl. Obviously, Mo, went to Super Bowls. He won one. I mean, just like with the history, I feel like I need to succeed with this team. So that's something I'm going to be looking to do.
Do you want to personally guarantee tonight that you're going to win a Super Bowl with the Lions in Madden 23?
No, that'd be stupid. But I'd kind of be down on myself if I didn't. So I hope we end up building a team, but chances are we won't because I'm one of the worst team builders of all time.
I hear you. Well, this has been our team review for Steady, as he's not the Packers. He is the Detroit Lions coach. We all expect he'll do pretty good, but thanks for joining us, man. This has been Cookie and myself, Ragin, Stinky, who I just muted, and then we also have Doc. So we're headed off to the next team reveal, or maybe to the conclusion wherever we are here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Steady! All right, guys, so we are towards the end of this reveal video for teams in the NFC North, and I'm here with Mo, and we're going to be breaking down our predictions for the NFC North going forward this season and beyond. And Mo, I have a pretty good idea where you might decide. Do you need a review of who has these teams before we go into predictions? You got it?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to let you do the honors. I think we might both see eye to eye. We'll see of who you kind of see strongest in this division in the immediate sense and down the line.
All right, so I'm going to have to go with Steady.
Mm-hmm.
He's won a Super Bowl in the past. Was it one or two?
He won two, yeah.
Yeah. He won 2 times in this previous Madden. So he does have the Lions, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, the Lions roster, like, we all look at it and cringe in certain parts, but, you broke down really good. I think you said, like, the offensive line's kind of underrated. They got 98 speed wide receiver who just joined the fold, and they got Chark, who's also good, Hawkinson, who's really solid, Swift, who's solid. They're a team you can develop. Really, the biggest question for me is, who is Steady going to run with at quarterback with the Lions? I highly doubt he's going to run with Goff. I think he's similar to you in the past, who's kind of went and found your guy, built him up, and you guys kind of enjoy that, Pro Bowl running, MVP running, passing yards, whatever gets you the devs at the end of the year. And I see Steady being somebody who could be very successful in that. But, I mean, I will say, this team leaves a lot to be desired in the Madden sense. If you were going to play in a tournament, you probably wouldn't choose the Lions if you were playing for big money, right? Like, they're not going to be the easiest to win with right away. But if anybody's going to do it in this league, Steady's certainly one of the guys that can, in my opinion. And I think you obviously agree. You put him number 1. I completely agree with you. Number 2, it's like I know the Bears owner, I know the Packers owner, and I know the Minnesota owner. And honestly, I've been doing all these interviews with Doc, and it's like I know Vamsey has to be rusty. I'm kind of going between these two, and I know Vamsey, in my opinion, has the superior team, but I don't know. I'm going to be a believer. I'm going to say I believe that Doc with the Vikings can. He beat me last year, I think twice even. And I got to see what he wants to do, and I'm excited to see what he does in this game, where it is going to be different. It's a new game, and I think Doc with the Vikings can make some noise in this division. Maybe make life pretty tough for Steady. It's a new game, like I said, and I'd put him at number 2 right now in power rankings for this season and beyond. I feel like Nico is new to this league. I haven't seen him play for a while. Not sure what will happen there. I'll be happy to see him do well. Same with Vamsy. Vamsy's one of my guys. I really, he's a good friend of mine in this league, and he has a great team. But I'm looking at what have you done for me lately, and I put Doc at number 2 personally.
I probably would agree with that. I'm not sure who Nico is.
Sure.
But Vamsy has been good in the past Madden 20, and then I think he played in the beginning of Madden 21.
Mm-hmm.
And did well. So if he can get back into it, he can even steal the number 1 spot.
I completely agree. Vamsy has the potential with this Packers team, and we got to hear in the interviews. Vamsy's a Lions fan, Steady's a Packers fan. They both kind of shat on each other's teams that they have, so it's kind of a fun switcheroo there. But we could see both of them excel with teams they don't like in real life, which is fun. And like you said, if Vamsy can hit the ground running and be what he's been in the past, he could be a big problem in this division. And I agree with you. I think you just kind of ranked him at number 3 in a roundabout way. You don't know Nico. And I agree. I think the Bears are the stronger team between Detroit and Chicago. We kind of talked about that at the beginning of the video. But I know that Steady is a 2-time champion just last game, and that bumps obviously the Lions out of consideration for worst team, as far as team owner pairing for me, anyways, and you, I guess. So Nico, it's no offense, it's honestly no slight. I think that this division is going to be a fun, competitive division for you to prove, to prove who you are in this MKL league. And being 4th in this division, I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of in this power rankings. Now go out there and make us wrong, in my opinion. I think all these rosters have redeeming qualities, and all of these coaches have a real shot. How do you feel, Mo?
Yeah, that's pretty much all. Nico, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
Yep.
But yeah, the Bears team could actually be very good with Justin Fields if he develops him.
I completely agree. We could see Justin Fields look pretty much identical to like a Deshaun Watson, as far as, what he can become in a season or 2. And he said he's going to build up. And obviously I'm interested to see what Steady builds in Detroit. Vamsy, how he's going to dismantle that Packers team and make it more his own, because he has some guys he hates just because it's real life hatred. And then with Doc, with that Minnesota team, he's the most unconventional owner in the league for how he wants to do things. And I'm interested to see what he does going forward with this team. So thanks so much for being here with me and Mo. You want to have anything you want to say, Mo, before we end?
I was going to say that I'm actually interested to see Steady with the Lions, because I think he's had the Packers and no other team besides the Packers. So we'll see how he goes with them.
I completely agree. We've both paid our dues with the Lions. That was something Steady said in the interview. He's really interested to see how he does with the Lions, taking his turn. He feels like H-Coke, yourself, me, we've been the Lions and had some good seasons. You guys, some great seasons with that team. So definitely I'm interested too. Maybe it's a little reprieve if Steady's going to take that mantle again, being a multiple Super Bowl winner in MKL Madden 23. Maybe we'll get a little head start as far as team strength this year if he's not the Packers. So, all right. Well, this has been NFC North team predictions, and thanks so much, MKL. If you've listened this far, hats off to you. We're shooting this content out, and some of it's getting longer and longer, but I hope you guys enjoy and have an awesome season here, and stay with us for a while. We'd be happy to have you. Have fun, guys. Thanks.